Hey there, YouTube. Coming at you guys from the Training Group Summit, which is like an annual thing for the training group people. Today, I want to talk about this. This is the 320X5. You've seen the review. You've seen the first impressions. You've seen all the discussion of it. I'm at the point now, we've started with modifying the gun. But when I say we, I mean a smarter person than me. The nice thing about Summit is you get together with guys who kind of know what's up. You know, there's people from all over the country are here. There's one guy here that I trust with the 320s. He's been running the platform for a while. You saw him on the channel, Kyle. Kyle's here. He's gone over my gun last night, and I have some stuff to discuss and some, whatever. There's some findings. There's some things to be talked about. So last night, the entire gun got ripped apart and detail cleaned. Not by me, of course, because these things kind of scare me at this point. With just mounting the red dot was enough of a problem for me that I'm just going to let Kyle do things. So in tearing the gun apart, there was an interesting discovery made. One of the pins, and I'm sorry, I don't know which one. I think it's the one that, I do. It's the one that does the over travel stop. So there's a pin that does that inside of the FCU or whatever. That pin was like hammered into the gun. It should be very easy. Just push pin, push it out of the gun. At least that's what Kyle explained to me. And that pin, we had to hammer it out, and he replaced it with a new pin. Like, he's enough of a nerd. I think he has one of all of the parts for the gun, which is super good that he's here. So he took the gun apart and it's like found that bad pin, which I don't think it caused a problem. It's just one of those things you see where like, hey, this isn't supposed to be this way. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Okay, now let's move on to what actually got changed. So I've complained a lot about the triggers on this pistol. So we did kind of what I think what any self-respecting shooter guy would do is I bought different trigger kits or different triggers and kits. I think an Apex kit and an agency trigger shoe. And what we did is just mix and match the stuff to get it the way we wanted. So what's gone into the gun, as you can see, we've got an agency shoe on here. This one I picked because I've actually used it before and I like it, but it has a safety dingus. So here we get a SIG 320 with the safety dingus. I like that. That's great. The trigger, like the connector bar and the rest of the guts is the Apex kit. So what that kit does is it really reduces the take up. So you can see here, there's very little take up to get to where it's like, from here to here, now you're on the wall, press through and the gun goes off. So the trigger feels substantially less sloppy, I would say, than before. The weight hasn't changed dramatically. It's maybe changed a little. I don't think a lot. But the big thing is all the take up and a lot of the sloppy feel or this kind of mushiness that's been taken out of the trigger. And I would say, at least as long as the gun doesn't just like go off on its own or whatever, it does feel better to me. And I'm appreciative that I have the safety dingus on the gun. These are things that I like. I shot with the gun in the morning session. I did some teaching with it. It appears to be all systems go. I would say I like the gun a little bit better than previously. Of course, we have to make sure the mods are all reliable. But at this point, it does appear like, hey, the trigger is at least better or maybe like more towards acceptable. I'm waiting on a KKM. I'm waiting on a KKM barrel to drop in, and then I'll probably continue shooting the gun indefinitely at that point. But at this point, the trigger does seem improved with the Apex kit with the agency shoe. Now, there's a few other guys here with 320s, and it's interesting. It's kind of like the CZ Shadow 2s. It's like you look around and you talk to different guys, like, oh, what do you got? Everybody's gun is different. Everybody's gun is set up different. Nobody's gun is stock, and everybody's gun is different than every other person's. And like that kind of thing, it tells me it's like, okay, people like modifying the gun and they haven't really settled on like what exactly they want the gun to be or what it needs to do. Oh, it's Andreas. All right. Well, that's enough. I'll leave it there. If there's any updates with the trigger, we'll come back and I'll give them to you.